and welcome to the Man Cave. I am Thomas Parnell.
And I'm Terrence Foster.
And we're your co-hosts. Let me first say that I fully anticipate Terrence being the star of the show because I cannot compete with this attire, this ensemble that he has got on. It looks good, man. It looks good.
For sure.
But speaking of suits, the Carolina Panthers seem to be unsuited to play the Denver defense. Carolina lost 24-10 in the Super Bowl. Terrence, what happened?
Well, it really comes down to two things, speaking generally. The defense prevailed, defense wins championships, and Denver did what they do best. Also, on top of that, Cam Newton let the pressure get to him, and let me get specific. Prior to the Super Bowl, Cam Newton hadn't been hit more than 7 times. Right. Against the Broncos, he was hit 13 times. Cam Newton also endured the most dropbacks under pressure, 21, in his entire career. When Cam Newton was rushed by Von Miller, the MVP of the Super Bowl 50, and DeMarcus Ware, he completed 1 of 12 pass attempts. He was sacked four times and fumbled the ball twice.
And I really do not want to talk about this. I've expressed that, but we both picked Carolina.
Times.
We both picked Carolina to win this game, and we were both dead wrong.
Yeah.
What happened, I did not anticipate. The Denver defense bullied the Carolina Panthers. Simply put. I could say that Carolina came out, as they always do, they came out loose, excited to be there. But Denver, even through media week, Denver just seemed more focused. Not to say that Carolina wasn't focused, but the persona that Carolina has had this entire season has been fun. We're going to come out there. We're going to be loose. We're just going to be us. But I think that this game, they were too loose, and it worked against them because I think that arrogance came in. I think there was a quote from Aqib Talib or Chris Harris, one of them. I can't remember exactly who, so forgive me, after the game, and I'm paraphrasing. They didn't do anything different than they had done all season. So Denver felt as if Carolina was so arrogant that they were going to come in there and play how they've been playing all season, and that was going to beat them, but it didn't work. First of all, Denver goes down and scores, gets 3 points in their first possession, comes back next possession, Cam Newton gets strip sacked by Von Miller. Next thing you know, they're down 10-0. That completely takes Carolina out of the element because what does Carolina like to do? Run the ball. Now they're strictly one-dimensional. They have to pass to catch up. Cam Newton, ends up throwing the most passes all season, 41 attempts. He only goes 18 for 41. And in that process, Denver was able to force turnovers. You had the Mike Tolbert lost fumble. You had the 2 fumbles by Cam, and then you had the interception. You had the interception thrown, what was that, in the third quarter?
Yeah.
By TJ Ward. But also leads me to, it seemed like nothing went right for Carolina all night.
Whatsoever.
Even the drops. Well, there was the one drop that should have been a catch by Jericho Cotchery, which could have changed the dynamic of the game early on in the first quarter. But you had the Jericho Cotchery drop down the sideline, which was a drop. You had the Ted Ginn drop that led into an interception by TJ Ward. So it's just nothing went right at all for the Carolina Panthers. But you have to give your credit to the Denver Broncos, which leads me to Von Miller being the MVP. Von Miller played a great game. That entire Denver defense played a good game. Peyton Manning, on the other hand, didn't have a great game, but he didn't need to. He only went 13 for 23. He didn't have to do a lot. Do you have a problem with the way Cam Newton has handled himself since the Super Bowl?
Not at all. I think a lot of things are being over-evaluated. He's true to himself at all times, and it shows.
At the end of the day, what's already understood. But at the end of the day, what's already understood shouldn't even have to be said. You know, so many people talked about the Carolina Panthers, so many people talked about Cam, so many people talked about Coach Rivera. But the truth of the matter is, nobody on this team got suspended for disciplinary reasons. You never once heard anybody on this team have to sit out games because of what they did. You never heard coach nor coordinator say these guys wasn't coachable. And so pretty much everything that people say about us is fluff. They say Cam's a thug. They say players on the teams are classless. But I mean, when exactly. I mean, straight up, we are professional athletes. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like I say, before you are quick to assume anything, what makes your way right?
Any last message to fans? Your fans, any last message?
We will be back, and I mean that. Like, we will be back. I mean, I say that with so much emphasis.
The reality is the franchise only took 2 losses. So they're going to take this loss at Super Bowl 50, learn from it, grow, and, of course, bounce back with a vengeance next season.
The Panthers definitely have a strong chance of getting back to the Super Bowl.
Agreed.
There was a article that came out right after the Super Bowl that actually had the Seahawks favored to get there, which I don't get. The Panthers beat the Seahawks twice this year. Yeah, I think the Carolina Panthers definitely don't have too much to worry about, and their future is bright because they have a strong core. But that's it for the first half. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back on the other side, we're going to talk some NBA basketball. Welcome back to the second half of the Man Cave. We're going to talk some NBA action with Terrence, who's going to lead us in a rundown of all the latest NBA news.
All right, well, Jimmy Butler is expected to be out 3 to 4 weeks with a strained knee. Paul Gasol is going to be swapped for him, so he's going to be playing in the All-Star game representing the Chicago Bulls. Marc Gasol, his brother, is ruled out indefinitely with a broken right foot. And lastly, head coach Derek Fisher is fired from the New York Knicks. So now we're going to transition into the Boston-Cleveland game, which ended 104-103 with a game winner from Avery Bradley. So Isaiah Thomas, 22 points, 100% from the charity stripe. Evan Turner, 19 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists. Tyler Zeller, 16 points, 8 of 10, 80% field goal. Kevin Love continued his injury-prone curse that he has against the Boston Celtics, which happened last postseason in the playoffs. But he was able to get off 10 points, 5 rebounds in 21 minutes of play. They ruled it as a leg and thigh bruise, his injury. How do you feel about the Boston's efforts in that game?
Boston Celtics' effort in that game was great, as it is every night, which is why it's a team that I like to watch, because they're a young team. They're a piece away, maybe either a year away or a piece away from championship contention, especially being out in the weaker East. But I mean, the Boston Celtics are a really good team. They have something to prove, because we don't really talk about them. They're not really talked about like the Cavaliers, the Raptors, even the Heat to a certain degree. They're not talked about like those teams. So they come out every night with something to prove. And I like that. You have Isaiah Thomas averaging 21 and 3. Avery Bradley, a real gritty player, averages 15 and 1. But they're just still missing that piece. And the one thing I like about this team is they always have that one player that'll step up that's really not really that of an impact player, whether it's Tyler Zeller or David Lee. So I mean, I like where Brad Stevens is taking this team.
Yep. Well, LeBron James, 30 points, scorching hot, 7 rebounds. J.R. Smith, 20 points, 50% from beyond the arc. Kyrie Irving, 19 points, 6 assists. The game ended the last few seconds. Foul on J.R. Smith. It's 101-103. The free throw does not go in. They struggle for the rebound. It goes out of bounds, and it's ruled Boston's ball. 3.7 seconds left. Isaiah Thomas gets the ball, tosses it to Avery Bradley in the left corner for the game-winning 3. So will Boston be a contender in the East?
Boston, as constructed right now, Boston is not a team I would want to play if I were Toronto, Miami, or the Cavaliers, because they could give me problems. But they could beat Miami, because Miami is I don't know what to ever expect from them. And my preseason prediction actually was Miami and Cleveland in the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't know if I feel the same way about that anymore, because the Heat just they're not.
Couple injuries there.
Yeah, they're always injuries, always something. They're not consistent. Hassan Whiteside, you don't know if you're going to get a triple-double for him or a foul out, or he's going to foul out. So I don't see them, and I definitely don't see the Boston Celtics beating the Cavaliers. I can see the Celtics getting to the second round at best and losing that second round to either Toronto or Cavaliers, because right now I'm going to have to go with Toronto and Cleveland in the Eastern Conference Championship. But unless they get a piece of the trade deadline that we don't know about. But outside of that, I think they're a year away or a piece away.
Yeah, I think they're definitely building up. It's looking real good for the Boston Celtics right now. They have something to prove. They lost against
Isaiah
the
Thomas
Cavs.
is a stud.
Yeah, 21 points average every night, putting in work, trying to take their team to the next level.
And Avery Bradley can defend any two guard in the Eastern Conference.
Pretty much. All right, so on to this OKC Golden State game you were excited about. 108-116, Golden State takes it. Kevin Durant, 40 points, 14 rebounds. Westbrook, 27 points, 12 assists. Cantor, 14 points, 70% field goal shooting, 15 rebounds. Steph Curry, 26 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds. Harrison Barnes, 19 points, 50% beyond the arc. Klay Thompson, 18 points. So why couldn't OKC close this one out?
Well, close it out. They were never really in position. They only lost by 8, but they trailed by by 20 points at one point during the game. As excited I was about this game, I came away a little disappointed. One, Russell Westbrook, he ended up with, was it 27, 26 points? One of those?
27.
He dealt with some foul trouble during the game. Kevin Durant reminded us that he's a superstar, dropping 40.
Definitely.
But at the end of the day, it still shows me that the Warriors are a better team than the Thunder. If they met in the playoffs, I think that the Thunder would lose in 6. But I just got to give credit to the Warriors. I was excited, and I'm still excited to see them play again. I know they play February 27th in OKC. I'll be excited to see that because I doubt Russell Westbrook is going to let himself get in foul trouble again. And I really want to see Steph and Russell Westbrook just go at it all night long. But
very entertaining.
At the end of the day, the Golden State Warriors showed that they're a better team, and barring injury or Kevin Durant just playing outside of his mind and Russell Westbrook playing outside of their mind, Golden State is probably still going to represent the Western Conference.
Durant, Westbrook, and Curry were all 100%, very efficient from the charity stripe, free throw shooting. Golden State moves up to 47-4 after this game, the best 51-game streak in NBA history. Will the Golden State Warriors surpass or match the 95-96 Bulls NBA record?
I thought long and hard about this one, and I really believe that they're going to do it. I have a couple games here that I think that I've highlighted, and they both involve Oklahoma City and San Antonio. I think that February 27th in Oklahoma City, the Thunder will pull. I think they're going to pull that game out in Oklahoma City. That crowd's going to be behind them. And Russell Westbrook, being the assassin that he is going to want to shut all this hype up about Golden State.
Yeah.
I have a game in San Antonio that I think the Spurs will pull that one out March 19th, and I think that April 7th, Manu Ginobili will probably be back.
Yeah.
The Spurs will probably will be peaking at that time. I think they will win that game. The only loss that I see coming, I see the San Antonio Spurs, and I see the Golden State Warriors losing to the Spurs April 10th, during that last matchup between them at the final game of the season. But I have the the Golden State Warriors losing 8 games. So going 2 above that 72-10 from the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, that's very respected. I think they can match it. They're definitely showing that potential. Everybody stays healthy, keeps going with the game plan, pass the ball. They're leading in scoring and assists. So if they keep that up, I think it's going to be very great and entertaining to watch. Every time I see the Golden State come on TV, I just want to watch and just learn and see what all the hype is about and just watch them be successful.
74-8. That's what I'm calling for
74-8.
the Warriors. 74-8. Anything else?
No final thoughts.
Okay, well, that is it from Inside of the Man Cave. We will see you next week on our next episode. Have a good day.